I'm Conor Rother. I'm joined by heavyweight prospect Anthony Garrett. How you doing, Anthony? Thanks for joining me.
Doing great, man. Very fun to be on your show and very fun to be interviewed by you.
Yeah, awesome. And obviously we see you in front of us now, but I think one thing that kind of stood out to me when I was kind of looking you up and things like that is from your last two fights, from that Hager fight to against Kaiser, total different transformation. I thought you looked like a total different guy.
Oh
What
yeah.
kind of happened there? Like you look a lot leaner. What kind of led to that change?
So you're gonna be the first person I'm gonna share this with. Don't it's just a long story, but I'm gonna try to make it short. So, and even the mother of my daughter doesn't know this yet, so she'll see this and find out a little bit about it. I actually during the winter, towards around late December, early January, I actually had severe suicidal thoughts from the medication I was on. And my mother and one of my best friends, Rebecca Batson, who I call Pooh Bear, she's one of my clients,
Mhm.
took me to KU Med, and I ended up spending a week in there and was diagnosed with PTSD and major depression. Uh, uh, just situations in my life, some of it to do with my daughter, missed her to death, and then COVID hit, so that made things a little worse. But I decided for her, and actually got a tattoo of her on my chest. Decided for her that I was going to make myself a better person and get myself back into shape and become a better fighter, better father, be healthy so I can be around for her. Because I was cutting from 290 and it was just not healthy. That's not smart.
Yeah.
Like for the Hager fight, I cut from 291 to make 265 and felt like shit, looked like shit. So I said, I'm never doing that again. And I went on a very strict diet, got recertified through NASM in my certification. They gave me a free nutrition certification. And the lowest I got, I'm proud to say this, I got into 224 from 291 in January.
Wow.
Yeah, so my waist went from 42 inches to what it is now, 29 inches. And then I started professionally modeling during COVID and, destroyed JW Kaiser in 2 minutes. So I think it paid off. I think it worked.
For sure. Yeah, a lot has changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking too, you talked about your daughter. Like, what is the situation? Like, do you not live where she lives currently?
So the mother had moved up here from Greenville, Texas, and we fell in love, and she got pregnant, and then it just didn't work out. After Lucy
Hmm.
was born, about 8 months in to Lucy being born, so when she was 8 months old, we broke up, and then she decided to move to Texas, and it just crushed me. Like, obviously, I'm not going to see my daughter every day, not be around
Hmm.
her on the weekends or anything like that. So it's all good now. It took a lot of time and a lot of stress and a lot of problems, but her and I are good now. We're co-parenting perfectly. I
Hmm.
actually just got visiting her for 4 days. We were in Rockwall, Texas, by the harbor and lake, and she's beautiful. Haven't seen her since last year because of COVID and stuff, but
Yeah.
in my hospital stay, I didn't want to be around her, obviously. I just wasn't mentally in the right place to be around my daughter, and I wanted to be good for her, obviously. So, yeah, it was beautiful. It's like we didn't miss a day. She knew me right away. She loved me. We kissed, hugged, had fun, played together. It was awesome. I was just playing up like, give daddy a kiss. And she would, so it was nice. And I'll be going visiting her again in a couple of months for her birthday. So, yeah.
Yeah. And obviously too, I mean, you seem like you're in a very positive place, a good place too. And so, what's like that for you to I guess be here now, and then maybe a year, like I guess like a year ago, kind of where you were saying, where obviously suicidal thoughts are a very serious thing. So, what's it been like to make that jump within a year?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, if you took the person that I was a year ago, I think that person would be not just shocked, but very proud of the person that I've become now. I'm a better person just all around, and a better father, better teammate, better coach for my guys, better personal trainer, better role model, better everything in the community here in Kansas City. It's been good, and like, I think karma's real, and the things are paying off for me because I have changed and become a better person. So I
Hmm.
uh, take this moment to say, like, if I can do it through my mental illness and problems, I think anybody can. You just got to distract yourself and become dedicated to something, you know?
Yeah. And you talked about too how you haven't really told a lot of people, but for you, like, was this something that you kind of overcame yourself, or did you have people helping you through the process?
Mainly my mom. Like, my mom is probably my hero. And she, she saved my life when she took me to the hospital. And, between her and I, she knows everything that happened. And, she really did do a lot for me and still does to this day. And I'm a little bit of a mama's boy, but it's okay. Anyone can say that and be proud of it. She does a lot for me and a lot for my family. And yeah, so it was her like 90% of the time. It was my mom.
Yeah. And I'm right there with you with the whole mama's boy thing
Oh,
for sure. But one of my last questions on this too is just the fact of, you said like she brought you to hospital. What was there like a moment like that was like a rock bottom, or was it just kind of a series of things that eventually you were like, all right, I gotta do something here?
well, so what had happened, and it's hard to even talk about it because it still bugs me. I didn't sleep for literally 6 days.
Wow.
No, 6 days. I couldn't sleep. And my mom would come over and literally stay with me almost every night, and no matter what I did, could not sleep. And that's when that was the rock bottom moment. That final day where I was just I couldn't think straight. I couldn't function properly. I was having trouble thinking, walking, even eating. My mom and my friend Rebecca Batson were just like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna go. Your medicine. We're gonna go to the hospital and we're gonna figure this out together. And it paid off. It worked. So I'm good. Like, for real. Like, it's good to be back to normal. So yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned modeling too, and obviously that's something else that you can, another outlet for you to keep yourself busy and things like that. What's that been like?
So it actually all started, and I can talk about it a little bit. Just to
Okay.
air. I was on a reality TV show. It'll air in January called Champ Las Vegas. And the reason why I can talk about it now because they're going to be releasing all the sneak peeks, the footage, and everything like that. Be on TV and everything. And that really, when I got back from it, because I was posting, you could post a little bit about it. So we were posting videos and pictures from Las Vegas, and people were like, well, who's this guy? What's he doing? Well, he has a six pack.
Yeah.
I got back. I actually got hired for a fashion show by this lady, Velma Van Zant, out of here in Kansas City. And I mean, dude, it's just been crazy. Like, I'm busy all the time with training, modeling, training people and everything. It's been fun. It's really helped my my mental status. I feel like I said back to normal and good again.
Yeah. And you figure like too in like the sport of MMA too, it's all about standing out too. And we've seen a lot of guys kind of take that jump from reality TV show to like, fighting. Obviously you're kind of doing it the other way around where you were fighting first and now that. But I mean, you have to be pretty excited about maybe what that could bring.
Oh yeah, I think the reality TV show is going to do amazing. And from what I've been told by the producers is that there's going to be a season 2 in LA next year. So they're supposed to be bringing us all back for that. So I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get in trouble because I can't.
Yeah. I gotcha.
I non-disclosure, but we have been told that there'll be a season 2. So I don't know if I'll be on it or there'll be new models on it. But it was a modeling competition.
Oh, okay.
Modeled, and the fact that I can say I did really, really well on the show. You'll have to wait and see. Yeah. It was pretty
Awesome.
cool. Yeah.
And obviously, like we're talking about like the weight loss and everything like that. But for you, I mean, obviously you're a heavyweight, but is there a chance we could see you at 205? Is that something you've considered?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. I plan, like, if I don't get a fight anytime soon, I'd like to fight as soon as possible, obviously, because I was unscathed in my match. I want to do a practice weight cut just to make sure, like, if that makes sense. Like, I can get to 224 healthy. And if I can get that low and still be functioning just fine, I can easily cut to 205. I mean, that's no problem. I got some chub left. I ain't completely shredded. So I got to cut. Yeah.
Yeah. And is there a timetable where you kind of would like to get back?
To fighting?
Yes.
Bro, I'm ready right now. I've told BKFC, I've told FAC, I've told everybody, you put me on a card, I'm ready to go right now. I don't even care who it is, where it is, what it is. Kickboxing, boxing, bare knuckle, MMA, I don't care,
Yeah. And you talk about the fights. Obviously, a guy who just recently got booked is someone you're quite familiar with, Jake Hager. And
Yeah.
that fight obviously ended in no contest for anyone who doesn't know. And he draws Brandon Colton in this one at Bellator 250. I believe it's October 29th that's set for. What was kind of reaction to hearing that Hager got that fight? Because just from some of your past interviews too, it seemed like you kind of thought maybe that you would get that rematch.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a secret. Like, I've been petitioning for it since it happened. Like, literally, my shit was swollen after the fight. Like, the doctor even says it on the video that Bellator posted. So when I was healed up, it took about 2 weeks for the tenderness to go away. I literally was messaging every Bellator guy being like, hey, let's make it happen. And like, other guys have gotten the rematches, like Matt Mitrione and that one dude that he kicked in the crotch in the beginning of the fight. And they just, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care what they want to say and do to me, Bellator wise. They're protecting him, and it's complete bullshit. Like, I offered them to give him my entire fight purse. I don't need to be paid to beat his ass. And he still said no. Like, he is a legit coward, and he wants to shit talk me like I didn't want to be in the cage. I was like, bro, I will smash you like a little girl right now. Like, it would be no contest if we fought again. Like, the way I am right now, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I would hurt him like very bad. And the guy he's fighting, I don't want to talk shit about him, but he fights like super heavyweight usually. Is he even going to make weight? I don't know. So, I don't know what it is. Why would you go from fighting a guy who was 4-2 to a guy that's only 2-0 and is 41 years old? Like, come on. That's a gimme fight, like, for real. And everyone knows it, but he's going to draw the crowd a little bit because he's a heel on that Chris Jericho wrestling show. And it's whatever, I understand politics a little bit. I just didn't know, I knew boxing was like that. I didn't know MMA was like that, but it is what it is. And I'm looking forward to fighting for the promotion behind you, the UFC. So
There you go.
that's
And
yeah. Go ahead.
it's just like I feel like we have seen this before with Bellator too. I mean, Michael Page is one of those guys too for a long time. Just a very slow build up to maybe higher competition. So I do kind of get where they're coming from. But as far as like for you though, I mean, why is one of the reasons you want to fight him so bad? I mean, not only just because you fought him once already, and obviously we all know how that went, but the fact that he is 2-0, like not a lot of 2-0 fighters have that hype that he has, and a lot of these guys that come from wrestling into MMA have that. So is that one of the reasons why you want him to kind of like steal that shine a little bit?
I mean, I don't really care about the shine. I just want to shut his ass up. He really tries to talk a big game, and he's never backed it up at all. He's not even that good of a wrestler. We all saw him try to take me down, and I just literally pushed his head up to mine and put my hand on his throat, and he knees me in the crotch.
Mm-hmm.
I went for a takedown, but I kind of slipped and didn't get it. And he tried to guillotine me, and I got out like it was nothing. And then he knees me in the crotch again. So he's just too much hype, and he doesn't deserve it at all. He's not a real fighter. And when he proves it, I'll applaud him. But he's not going to prove it October 29th. And, hopefully one day he does. Otherwise, he's a bitch in my book.
Yeah. Did this whole thing, the way this has kind of played out now, has it changed your opinions on like Bellator as a promotion?
No, Bellator is, hey, I mean, to be honest with it, they're in their infancy stage still, in my opinion. They have the potential. But they're not where they need to be yet. They have very talented fighters, but then they also have very bottom level fighters. I have no beef with Scott Croker at all. I have beef with some of the other guys on the promotion because I won't say names, but some of them are such little girls that they asked me to stop talking shit on Jake Hager. I was like, can he not handle it? Wow, I'm kind of a nobody right now. my insults, like, grow up, dude. But Scott Croker was nothing but awesome. He was the coolest guy before the fight, coolest guy after the fight. He literally just patted me on the back and was like, that's some bullshit. That's all. I mean, that's all he needed to say. He knew, but he doesn't want to destroy the hype train and the money that Jake Hager can bring. So respects to him, but not respects to the other Bellator guys. But overall, obviously, like I said, Bellator is growing. And I think they will do well. They'll never be on UFC's level. No offense, Scott Croker. But because UFC is just too big now. they're getting even bigger as we speak. Like Khabib is not just one of the best athletes and big names in MMA. He's one of the biggest names right now. It's true. And then the things Connor's done, the things that, John Jones did, even though he's messed up a few times. I mean, it's growing. It's going to get even bigger. So UFC all the way, obviously. But, I'd go back to Bellator if the fight was against someone good this time, not some clown. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm sure part of you gets it too. I mean, the whole thing, like, can you kind of see it from Bellator's like perspective too? Because again, like you kind of say, he is like a star, and like you don't find too many guys like that are 2-0 like that. So obviously they don't want to kind of rush him, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, the way I could see it is let him beat this guy, let him get his another gimme win, and then let's throw down again. Hager, Garrett too. Even make it the co-main event on a Bellator show. Get the hype going. Let me get a win or two as well. Make me earn a second shot, I guess you could say. Even though I don't need to earn one to fight him. But if Bellator thinks I do, I'll do it. I just want to shut his ass up. I don't like the dude. Like, he really is a douchebag. Like, and I've heard that from other people too. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah. And just so kind of a true or false question here. I mean, will you ever get that rematch with Hager?
Well, it was brought up that I might. So we're gonna go with a little bit true, hopefully.
All right.
It was brought up, and like I said, I did offer the full fight purse, and he still turned it down. So it's on him. I think that it hasn't happened yet. He's being the little girl.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't say that. That's offensive to little girls.
And we don't want Bellator reaching out to you again and saying that's too much either. So
yeah, we'll keep it civil.
And one of my last questions too is just obviously his last fight, that was your first fight with kind of after that whole transformation, everything against Kaiser, a guy you fought in amateur too. Both finishes, two different kinds of finishes, but how did you feel, I guess, from maybe that first time you fought him to now?
So that was actually the first fight I've never been nervous. Weirdly enough, I actually had thoughts of him catching me and knocking me out, but there was no actual nervousness going into that fight because I just knew in my head I had put all that work in, and there's no way in hell he was going to beat me. And literally, I walked in the cage and told myself I'm prepared to die because he's not going to win. Like I was already had bought the plane ticket to go see my daughter. Like, Daddy was going to come and be a winner and not a loser. So I was going to smash him if I even had to die to do it. And I had never been that calm. And if you watch that fight again, I'm just Gucci as fuck in there, like calm as hell. And, took my time, flipped him, rear naked choke. It was like cutting through butter. It was so easy. It just went right in and he tapped, So,
yeah.
I bloody nose because the only strike he actually landed was a headbutt on the ground. But, he's just trying to give good pressure, which is completely legal. So, other than that, I was completely unscathed in the fight. So it was pretty easy.
Yeah. And then before I let you go, Anthony, anything you want to add? The floor is yours.
Yeah. So obviously I want to thank God, for getting me through everything that I've been through. And that's why I've actually changed my name to the Warrior of Christ instead of Lionheart. Just trying to dedicate some things to Jesus and God. And then one of my sponsors, Lion Share, is actually owned by one of my best friends, and she's like a second mom to me, Laura Lee Jones. And then I want to give a shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs, world champions. I'm at one of their now that's owned by Will Shields. That's where our fight team's out of.
Oh, awesome.
Coach Steve Crawford out of American Jiu-Jitsu. That's where our fight team actually is. And then one of my new sponsors, Royal Kratom. They sponsor Joey Beltran at BKFC. Everyone knows who Beltran is.
Yeah.
I got to meet him and hang out with him a little bit at the Salina fights here in Kansas. And he's one of the coolest guys I've ever met in my entire life. And the Royal Kratom guys were super cool and want to sponsor me. So I've had a lot of sponsors back out and give me bullshit. And the Royal Kratom guys have been amazing so far. And then just give a shout out to Joey Beltran, that fight that he had. I don't know if you saw it. He broke that dude. He broke his spirit, his body, his will, everything. And I will hopefully fight Joey Beltran one day. I will fight for BKFC. I've already talked to David and Nate and Sean Wilcox, the commentator guys, and I will be fighting for them. And I cannot wait to make a pro debut with them, and hopefully one day get enough wins to earn a shot. I will love to fight Joey Beltran. Win or lose, I fight him. He's stand-up dude, great person. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got to interview Beltran back when he fought Rampage in Bellator. It was in New Jersey, so I was lucky enough to check that out. But for you, just on the bare knuckle thing, real quick, do you see that kind of happening before maybe you get into the cage again?
No, I think I'll probably end up fighting in the cage, hopefully for FAC again in December, or a smaller promotion. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't need a lot of money, just a little bit of money, and I'll fight. But hopefully I'll be fighting for BKFC in the new year in 2021. So, if they can get me on in November and down in Daytona, I'll do it. 3 days after my birthday, I'll be ready. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony. Well, thank you so much for the time. I'm glad you're doing much better now. And thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate it, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate you, man. Have a good day.
All right, Anthony. Take care. If you enjoyed this interview, don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to see other interviews just like this one, subscribe to the channel. Or maybe even try this video. Or this video. Thanks for watching, guys.